Hello and good morning. Happy
morning.
Hump Day, people. Welcome to the brighter side of Nigerian TV.
What's Hump Day?
Hump Day.
What's it?
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Oh.
You've never heard of Wednesday being Hump Day?
I
Really?
thought it was something special, like you were commemorating something.
It's the hump of the week. It's right in the middle. You know, this is how it goes. The energy goes. Yeah,
Okay, so today's supposed to be it's the peak.
Yeah, the peak, the pinnacle.
Of-
This is where you get all the work done. This is where you sign all the checks. This is where everybody answers your call. By Thursday, everybody's still forming.
All right, well, you said it all. That's what we do here, making that day or this day as it is special for you. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining on the show. This is your numero uno breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, Daddy's like right there. She's been smiling and like she had something about hump, and I think she had something to say. Do you?
No, I have. No, I don't. I was smiling because I actually saw Justina walk into the studio.
Oh.
Beautiful people. It's a beautiful Wednesday, and I'm definitely excited to be here. It's going to be an amazing show, so keep it locked right here.
Yeah. That afro is giving, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're making it.
What is it giving?
It's
Giving everything is supposed to be giving.
Is afroing. All right, great to have you here. My name is Mike Messikeno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can, of course, watch the show live on tvcentertainment.tv or indeed at TVC Connect. We are on social media as well. Please hit us up with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all socials so we can be part of your day.
Definitely. Let's get straight into what we have this morning. We have a Wednesday that is curated for you, a Wednesday to get you that hump. We'll kick off with relationships. And of course, we learn about types of forgiveness. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
We have Chion Olabode. She is an author, founder, and lead counselor of the Relationship and Marriage Academy. Motara is in the house. She will be giving us a musical performance to get that hump. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
And also to discuss their latest documentary, Silent Tumors. We have filmmakers Rachel Isaac and Bolaji Jelax.
And then our final guest will be Ray Adeka, an actor. We're going to be talking to him and see what he's been up to and his career in Nollywood.
Yeah.
Ladies are giving this morning.
Yeah.
Some are with gladiator belts.
Wow. Okay.
And others are reliving the days of color.
Wow. Reliving.
I like this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing. This is thing.
It's not. It's a human being. I like this human.
No, man, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Blazer.
I'm just.
Blazer.
I don't know what it is, but I've grown out of it, and it seems like I dropped some weight, so I thought I could enter into it again. So let's enjoy it again before we get back up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wednesday morning, and of course, the big thing I just want to, you guys were not here, of course, was to just give a shout out to the Falcons. I know you guys saw it and all of that, and you know how much more strength ladies show. And I always want to try to talk about that. When people talk about ladies being the weaker gender on everything and all of that, I was like, all that they do that we can't do. And then
what
they add
what you can do.
at times what we can do and all of that, especially in cases where you have spouses who were the breadwinner or the supposed gender that is supposed to be the breadwinner is not doing that, and then the ladies also carry their own side and then carry the other side. So for me, big shout out to ladies everywhere out there, to the Falcons, to the Tigresses, and also they did well. The major talk has been bonuses and fights and all that. They want to get them their money, and what happened was that they are now paying them their monies directly. So what FIFA does, normally they'll pay to the federations and federations will sort them out. But because of the issues we have here, they're now paying directly to the ladies' account.
Let me throw a little bit of light to that whole idea of ladies being the weaker vessel. Right, so now it's not weaker in the sense of strength. You may come across as weaker, but now it's more of like, you know, when you're in a house, you have plastic plates, metal plates, stainless plates, then you have glass plates. So when it says weaker, it really means finer.
Ooh, more
you see-
delicate.
More delicate.
That's
you guys were
something.
made of dust.
That's-
You were made from
you see, that's something I
was
want
gonna touch on something though.
Yeah.
So I only use this opportunity to say how proud I am of my daughters,
Oh,
both of them. But Amber, my taye, as we call it, is in a TV commercial that popped up during one of the matches
Yeah.
over the weekend.
Yeah.
And on the day that the Falcons were about to play, you know, we put the commercial on social media, and there were loads of great shout-outs because she's really a really great footballer. And I feel like I'm wrapping my head around her actually going
into that.
into it full time. What do you think?
Totally. Why not?
Football for girls?
We'll talk about that
Yeah.
a bit later. Good morning, the news on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Messi Keno. We begin with the political impasse in Niger, where President Bola Tinubu says the sanctions imposed on Niger Republic are resolutions reached by the authorities of heads of states of ECOWAS and not the decision of Nigeria. He also says there are no sentiments influencing the decision of the regional bloc, and it will continue to advocate for the entrenchment of democratic governance across the region. Details in this report.
We have been, let me phrase it this way. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his capacity as the chairman of ECOWAS, has been unequivocal in his position that diplomacy is the best way forward. In representing the consensus position of the ECOWAS heads of state, he has communicated clearly that he, along with his colleagues in the bloc, would prefer a resolution that was obtained through diplomatic means, through peaceful means, rather than any other. And that will be a position that is maintained going forward, pending any other resolution that may or may not result from the ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit holding on Thursday.
In a related development, the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says Russia's Wagner mercenary group is taking advantage of instability in Niger. The country has been ruled by a junta following the ousting of President Mohamed Bazoum nearly 2 weeks ago. There have been suggestions the coup leaders have asked for help from Wagner, which is known to be present in neighboring Mali. Mr. Blinken said he did not think Russia or Wagner instigated Niger's coup. He said the U.S. is worried about the group possibly manifesting itself in parts of the Sahel region. According to him, what happened and what continues to happen in Niger is not instigated by Russia or by Wagner, but they try to take advantage of it. Insecurity has gone up, not down. He added that there was a repeat of what's happened in other countries where they brought nothing but bad things in their wake. When we take the time and now stay with us, we are just getting on the road.
Okay. Well, it's going to be a marvelous Wednesday today by the special grace of God.
Yes.
Well, I mentioned how
Proud you were of me.
Yes, I actually should say that I've watched Winfrey put together this amazing event called the Pageant Conference. And honestly, I've actually been in awe of everything she's been doing and putting it together. So I said, you know what, today, let's have a little conversation on how that's going.
It's going great. It's going amazing. I mean, put an event off. Everybody's like, in this time, in this season,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have an instruction to do it, so I have to do it no matter what. But yeah, I mean, it's been challenging, but it's been amazing altogether. But I think very importantly to mention, Titi will actually be serving as a host of the event on that day. And of course, I also having a lot of help and support from TBC people, and of course, lads, and I really, really love it. Thank you guys so much.
If you love to be there.
But very importantly as well, we launched our Pageant Academy online masterclass yesterday, and the reviews have been amazing. And presently, it's going at 80% off till the 12th on the day it actually launches. Sorry, it didn't launch yesterday. We started the pre-sale yesterday, so it's launching on the 12th, which is Saturday. Yes.
Yeah. Wow, congratulations, Winnie.
If you want to attend the pageant, you have to get through me. I'll give you
the pageant conference.
I'll just give you the account you should pay.
It's free.
Free to attend, thanks.
So
you had to mention that. Right,
I actually thought it was really interesting because she's bringing in different people to come and talk about things like what happens after you're given such a platform.
Yeah.
Once you're given the crown or the sash, what happens next? Which is something a lot of kings and queens have had issues with. What happens after you've been given this platform? What do you use it for? Where do you go from here? How can you build a career of this? then the stylists and the trainers and the etiquette coaches that she's put together.
Yes.
Amazing stuff.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. We literally have Jennifer, financial Jennifer.
Yeah.
We have Kemen coming over. We have Modella. We have TCC, the catwalk coach. We have Omolayo. We have Mariah Brown.
Yes, Mariah's coming as well.
And,
So who is this curated for? Who are the people
Nelson
that you
Etta
expect?
as
Who are
well.
the people that are expected to attend?
to be there. So aspiring beauty queens, and to be honest, anyone interested in any way in the pageant industry, because it's not only a training session, it's also a conference where we're having conversations driving the pageant industry. We're literally also having organizers of major beauty pageants there. We're having House of Twitch, which handles Mr. and Miss Ideal Nigeria. We're having the Beauty of Africa International pageants, owner, local, international franchise. We're having people from different parts of the industry.
Different industries. You'd be surprised how wide this actually goes.
The pageant Crown Africa. We're having pageant bloggers also present. We're having a lot of people. We even have little princesses and queens as well. So queens, 7-year-olds. So it's a whole spread. I mean, there's everything there. It's amazing.
I've always felt like there was, so much pressure on that industry to grow.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, pageants have been around for a long time. And now with the social media, it started to become more of a popularity contest than what it was actually meant to be for when it started. So for instance, the queens were supposed to understand the culture of their country, supposed to go out and represent the country in a great light. But I don't know, some pageants recently have just been more about likes and follows and stuff like that on social media.
Isn't there, everything is about it, likes and follows. In fact, just this morning I saw there's a record Mr. Beast broke. He's like the #1 YouTuber in the world, and he put up a video of being he was stranded at sea, or he set himself up to be stranded at sea for a week or so.
And he was,
you understand? And so it was recorded, but they were stranded at sea, and then they had to, of course it was scripted. It's not like they were stranded. How could the cameras were just there and they were taking very nice shots and all of that? But I mean, over 46 million views in 23 hours. And so he broke a record for the most non-music video that has the most views in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
You understand? So that is where we are as it stands. Social media is the place. It's where news, I mean, most of the time before we even verify information, you already have snippets, you have clips and all of that out there.
Very true.
And so that is where, when people talk about understanding or maybe curtailing understanding fake news, as it were, or we've seen a lot of things that when nobody who reports to police first, nine case or nine talk through.
Yes.
You understand? And that is what social media has become. In as much that it has been, for me, it's more or less like a medium that is blank in such a way that I think GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. I think it's something like what you give to it is what you can get out. It is a place where people have found peace. It's a place where people have found help. It's a place where people have found hope. At the same time, despair. At the same time, pressure.
True.
At the same time, depression. So for me, it doesn't have a particular, it is not on its own, it doesn't have a value, an intrinsic value that you can say, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what you make out of it. You can curate your feeds in such a way that you know what comes in.
Yeah.
Even your Explore page, when I look at my Explore page, I know what I would see. Yes, there are times when they try to throw in subtle things there and all that. Yeah. But you know how you can just go through someone's Explore page. Yeah. If I go to your Explore page now, I would know what you see.
No, I want you to guess.
What would I see?
What would you see on Winfrey?
I don't know.
You don't know?
People's life outside, people's life on social media is different.
If I know I would find some motivational messages, gospel messages. I know I would find some beauty products and hair products.
You know what? Let's not talk too much. Let's see.
You didn't say fashion.
No, I didn't say fashion. No, I didn't say fashion.
You say style.
Beauty. And
let's see. Let's see. Wait, let me see. Let me show you.
Explore. That's Instagram Explore.
Yes,
right?
Instagram Explore.
Food. Yes. You're a foodie.
Oh, I cook for my husband.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. You want to start with? You want to check my Explore page?
Yeah. What's your Explore page?
What's this?
Yeah.
No.
So see my Explore page. You see that. You see runway shows.
Okay.
Because
Runway
I also
shows.
run runway.
I'm seeing
Hair,
shoes.
of course, you definitely see hair. You see shoes, no, yeah.
I told you I would see beauty.
You see a lot of
in hair.
fashion,
The
style.
first
Since
thing
I didn't say open risk, open explore.
How did they open it?
Yeah, you see
Is
it,
that
you see
the opening? I didn't know.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's a photo of Jesus there. There's a
Huh?
pastor.
How do you know what Jesus looks like?
Yeah, that's the actor.
Hey, call his Jim
You'll
Caviezel.
find food.
No, this is the one from the show that's called
The One or something.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
there's a show. Yeah.
The Chosen.
The
What is
Chosen, yeah.
Mike Soul you should
Yes.
be looking at. I know there'll be football there, Sha.
Football go did.
Not really. So the first thing I see here is Emilia Clarke. She's responding.
Oh,
Marvel.
Game of
to
Thrones or
no
Marvel?
Marvel. She's
Marvel.
responding. And Titi, you know you're not going to talk about the
What,
picture under
food?
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah,
You're not going to talk
there's-
about the picture under.
There is a let's use the term
Titi, what do you see? It's
scantily clad
oh god.
individual.
That's not
popped
true.
up.
That's not true. I mean, look at it now.
Yeah.
This is what you are seeing on my Explore
Okay,
feed.
but then there's a private jet shot of someone as a so aspirational thing.
And so and you know it brings me to the part where have you found out where that thing happens where you think about something
Yeah.
and then you go
Yeah.
on social media or something and then you start seeing
Seeing it.
suggestions about that particular thing you just spoke or you just talked about.
Don't worry.
Maybe on text someday I'll talk about it because it is actually where we are. There are some things you might need to turn off on your phone
Yeah,
and on your laptop that would help you make it not
Save
seem, make it not seem. Of course, your location is one very strong thing
Yeah.
with which they use to suggest
Yeah.
those kind of things to you.
And your clicks as well.
Yeah. But no matter what your location is, we're going to be right there with you. Of course, make your comments and contributions on this particular topic. We can't wait to see them. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
It's still a beautiful Wednesday morning right here in the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen, and I have with me one of our very own, even if she ran away, but she's back, Justine Empire. Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm very well.
Oh,
Good
welcome. Thank you for
morning.
coming back.
Thank
How's
you
it
too
been?
for
Daya,
having
tell me,
me.
before we start and get into this, tell me, what's it been like? Being
been
out in the world.
Sweet.
It's been sweet.
In fact, it's been the best feeling ever. Seriously.
Being your own boss,
Yeah,
controlling
you
your own
wake up
time.
anytime.
You wake up anytime. Wow, is it waking up, Abby? Amazing. Okay, but you're here today as a chef. Now, you were telling me this cooking is not a new thing. It's something that you actually do.
Yeah.
A
It's
hustler.
actually it's
A
actually
hustler.
been a side also for me.
Yeah.
Aside doing makeup and fashion, this is like a
Amazing.
side
She does
hustle.
makeup, she does fashion. She will not cook on top. You're a strong woman. So tell me, what are we making today?
So we're making catfish pepper soup and steamed rice, boiled rice. white
Okay.
rice.
Oh, nice. Tell me, what ingredients we need to bring this to life?
So we have the rice, we have the catfish. This is saint leaf. This is scotch bonnet, atarodo as we call it. Then we have onion, garlic, ginger.
Yeah.
Then this is the pepper soup spice.
Okay.
Seasoning cubes, crayfish, blended one,
And salt to taste. Okay, amazing. So now tell me, different people make pepper soup in different ways. What is your own special, and what's that thing you say, okay, you know what, this pepper soup, when I make it like this, everybody will know that, okay, fine, it's just the hand that made this. What's that special thing that makes yours different and stand out?
nothing really special except from the fact that, okay, I didn't add that ingredient yet. I add a bit of, what's it called, vegetable oil in it.
Oh,
To give
really?
it that fine look. I think, yeah.
Root vegetable oil. Okay, I
Yeah.
never would have thought about that. Amazing. So
yeah,
now,
yeah,
what's the
yeah.
process? Tell me, for someone that's just look at me like somebody that has never entered a kitchen before. That's not true, Sha. Tell me, what's the process? How are you going to cook it? What are we starting with?
Okay, already done washing everything, all of the ingredients here. Then for
How
this,
did you wash your catfish? Sorry, how did you wash your catfish?
I use salt, then
Salt.
hot water. Yeah.
Salt and hot water.
Yeah,
okay,
salt
great.
and hot water.
Okay, yeah.
Then after this one, what I do, I just put the water on the fire. Then I do the mixture, blend the pepper. Just turn it very easy, quite very easy. And the most easiest meal to prepare
To
ever.
make, okay.
Even for breakfast and for even lunch, dinner, anytime you can prepare it. So after mixing all the ingredients together on the hot water on the fire, then the last thing to put is the fish. You're allowed to boil, cover to boil, and that's all.
All right,
The meal
amazing.
is
Of course, we'll
ready.
boil our rice also on the side, and right there we have our pepper soup. So now let's see what the ingredients are like on our screen, just in case you missed it earlier, for this special Justine pepper soup, catfish pepper soup, and steamed rice. So we have rice, of course, we have catfish, we have seasoning cubes, we have salt, onions, scotch bonnet, atarudo, we have blended crayfish, garlic, ginger, pepper soup spice, and scent leaf. And that's about it. Simple and straightforward. I like this one especially because, I mean, it's rainy these days, right? So we actually need something nice and cozy, do you understand? For the weather to just take in and make everywhere just, you know, go right. All right, so now what are we starting with? Let's start doing what we need to do.
Okay, we'll start with the rice. Let me start steaming the rice.
Steaming the rice. Okay,
Yes.
great. So what do you need for that? You need a bowl?
Yes.
Let's get a bowl from the kitchen.
Okay, okay.
And then water. We have water here.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so how do you manage to balance all of this together? I know cooking is not a child's play. Do you understand?
I
so
don't know. I've not actually gone into it in full.
Yeah.
But what I do is just basically some of my friends that knows I cook, most especially pepper soup. They like it and they always come back for it. So I do based on order.
Oh, okay. Based
in
on order.
liters and you know.
In liters, amazing.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because I mean in Lagos, a lot of people are busy, so you don't even have
Yes,
much
so side
time.
also.
I'm telling you to even like get on with all of that. But I mean, I think it's really amazing what you're doing, and of course the makeup part of things as well. Definitely look at her now. She really came looking all, you know, ready and all of that. All right, that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. All right, so now while we actually allow her get on with all this cooking, we literally have Mike standing by with Titi for the newspaper.
Yes, indeed. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. Mike is here. How's it going, Mike?
I've been here.
Yeah.
Getting good, getting good.
Quite a few papers to look at today. We're going to start with the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, so on the cover of the Punch, I have this. It says on the Niger issue, ECOWAS plans fresh sanctions on Burkina Faso. Mali, UN talks fail. ECOWAS leaders meet Thursday after botched AU-UN-US planned visit to Niamey. Over 100,000 IDPs stranded in Niger, businesses grounded in Sokoto and Katsina borders. It also says here, Tinubu sets 30-day tax reform target. UI student makes panel. There is a photo story there of the student in question. Edo PDP sues for peace between Obaseki and deputy. Father blames hospital for elevator death and the doctor buried there. And right at the top, on top right, it says Tinubu Sanwo-Olu church members mourn as Pastor Odukoya dies. I wanted to touch on two different stories there, Mike. First of all, the issue of the doctor who passed away in the elevator. I do believe she was buried yesterday. There was a lot of, buzz around that issue yesterday on social media. A lot of people still, of course, blaming the hospital, blaming, the fact that low maintenance of very essential equipment is supposed to be top on the priority list. It seems like it has been, put on the back burner for way too long. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think this is going to do...
It's sad that we have to, it had to result in someone's death before measures have been taken. We're hearing reports of people being fired, and of course the panel's been set up and all of that. But for 3 years, that particular elevator was spoken about that it was faulty. For 3 years, they had made complaints and complaints and complaints. And as a society, it's a general problem with all of us, in the sense that, I mean, we need to be proactive. You envisage, you think problems, and then that's what strategy is all about. You have to envisage what could go wrong, and then you nip it in the bud before it gets to that point. But this time around, it had even stayed for up to 3 years. It was a disaster waiting to happen, and they had complained about it. So it is quite sad that someone had to pay with her life. But we have to be proactive as a people, as a government.
I've seen quite a few tweets of people, talking about, the issue of things having to get to this level before people take up notice of the reality of the situation. Of course, I did mention there was a second story. I wanted to, mention that, our hearts go out to the families that know, of course, are related to the Odukoyas, as Pastor Odukoya passed away.
Quite very sad.
At age 67, however.
Quite very sad.
Fountain of Life family.
the message, the church passed the message through on social media and said he passed on in the US and all that. Quite very sad. You know, considering that he had lost his wife, of course, after Pastor Bimbo, which was 16 years ago, and then he also lost his twin sister, so it's quite very, very sad. And we pray for strength for everyone who is related to him, that they have the fortitude to bear the loss.
Moving on to the next newspaper now. We have the Nation newspaper with us. It says here, federal government begins reform to end 20 trillion naira yearly tax losses. It says here, Tinubu sets 18% 3-year tax to GDP target for panel. President says no more excessive borrowing, stiff penalty likely for tax evasion. CBN hits Niger rep junta with sanctions. ACF opposes economic blockade. Military denies top U.S. diplomat access. It also says here, right, top left, APC defends president's choice of ministers. Resident doctors set to end strike as a parley with government raises hope. And that's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
Okay. All right. So I just want to mention, let's talk about the Niger situation and all of that. The CBN, you see, with what has happened and all of that, I of course, we know that President Tinubu sent a delegation which included from retired General Abdul Salami Abubakar and, of course, the Sultan of Sokoto, and they were not allowed into the country. They just had to stay in the airport, and they came back. They were met with some of the officials, junior officials, as it were. They look like they are serious, but the thing is that most of these things happen with some sort of, what do we call it now? There are people backing them up, you know. Some of them say in a Nigerian term, as we normally use, bankrolling. There are people bankrolling this, and that was where the U.S. Secretary of State made mention that, yes, Russia did not, it was not them that put this in motion, but they are trying to use it to their advantage, as it were, because we have seen them at different times talking about ties to Russia and all of that. Hopefully, now, like the president's aide for media and communication mentioned, we hope that this is going to be solved diplomatically on the table.
Yeah.
That is what that is hope for. We hope that it doesn't have to get to the point of sending in military troops.
One would never want to be part of a, in quote, proxy war, as it were, because there are obviously larger parties at play here. But let's move on to the next newspaper. The Guardian here, it says, fear of sovereign debt defaults takes toll on banks. Economic outlook. Page 6 has more on that. Then there is an infographic right there on the cover of The Guardian explaining the sovereign debt vulnerability banking gives insight into which countries are most likely to default on their debt obligations. Now, all the countries right there on the left. And, well, Nigeria isn't that far up the list. Right there, the second to the last, actually. But if you want to see more information, you should, of course, pick up a copy of The Guardian. On Niger, military option open as Tinubu orders more sanctions against individuals and entities. It says here, Tinubu moves to end over-reliance on borrowing for public expenditure, optimizing the Tigress potential amid NBBF's basket case. And that's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. That's all we have time for when it comes to the headlines in the dailies for this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what you think. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC as you make your comments. There's something about saying I'm sorry that should lead the person you're apologizing to, you know, have some sort of sense of forgiveness. But how far does the I'm sorry go? How deep is this forgiveness? Is it true that forgiveness is almost equal to forgetting what's happened? We're going to find out more about that today. On relationships, we learned today about types of forgiveness. Dr. Seun Olabode is here with us. She is an author, she's a founder and lead counselor of the Relationship and Marriage Academy. Now, this is a platform that offers pragmatic approaches to help individuals heal, help them thrive, help them forge lasting marriages. And it's a pleasure having you in the building today.
Good morning, ma'am. It's a pleasure being here.
Dr. Seun, who is forgiveness for?
Forgiveness is actually for everyone.
Okay.
Because we need to forgive ourselves at certain points in life, and we need to forgive others.
Forgiving others, well, I'm also going to touch on forgiving myself, like forgiving ourselves as well. So when I say who is it for, I'm just so concerned about the fact that sometimes it's hard to see people who fully forgive. But now let's touch on the types of forgiveness. What exactly are they?
So there are three basic types of forgiveness.
Okay.
The forgiveness that ends in total separation, the forgiveness that ends in the person relating to the other person from an arm's length, and the forgiveness that ends in total restoration of the person back to who they used to be to you before the offense occurred.
Now, the issue is, I know you work with loads of people. You know, they come to your office, you have conversations with them. Which is the first level of this forgiveness? I feel like there are levels to forgive, not just types. I feel like it's a build-up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first one.
So actually, the kind of forgiveness you give is dependent on certain factors.
Okay.
One being the attitude of the offender. Is the offender owning up? Is the offender in denial? Are they trying to gaslight you? So the attitude of the offender matters. Then, did the offender come clean personally, or the person was caught in the wrongdoing? That's another factor.
Okay.
Another factor is that what is your own role in catalyzing the occurrence of that offense?
Okay.
Because at times, the offended person might actually have played a role in that offense occurring. For instance, maybe there's an argument between the husband and the wife, and probably the husband is beginning to lose it. Is beginning to get very angry to the point of wanting to eat something, and the man just feels that the best thing to do is to leave that environment, to go and calm down for the discussion to continue later. And the man is trying to walk away so that he will not do something stupid, and the woman is body blocking the door. That I'm yet to conclude what I'm saying, and you have to stay and listen.
Okay.
So that can make the person lose it and get physical. So a role was played in that particular instance.
But it is still something, if, for instance, physical abuse does occur, it is still something that needs to be, in quote, forgiven, because it is a major issue. Even if the person, you used the term just now, the person that needs to forgive was the reason why this thing occurred. We cannot condone, of course, physical abuse for any reason.
Let me make it clear that under no circumstance is physical abuse acceptable, no matter the level of aggravation.
Okay.
I personally believe that what is not in you cannot be brought out of you.
Okay.
So if you are a mango tree, no circumstance will make you grow cassava.
Okay.
So I believe that there are some things that cannot be triggered out of you, no matter how volatile the situation is, if it's not in you. So it's not an excuse. Aggravation is not an excuse for physical abuse.
Okay.
But when it comes to physical abuse, the kind of forgiveness you offer, it's two ways. Is it a first occurrence, a one-time occurrence, or is it a pathological abuse? If it's a one-time occurrence, if the offender is genuinely repentant and is willing to go through the necessary therapy required to calm down his or her anger, because it's not only men that are physically abusive, women too could be physically abusive. So if they're willing to go through the necessary therapy and correction required, then the person can be given a second chance. But if this person is in denial. I did this because you did this, instead of accepting that I did a wrong. Or if the reoccurrence of what happened might have a fatal implication on the life of the other person in case it reoccurs, then it's better to just
Part ways?
part ways. For instance, there was somebody that was beaten and the person incurred broken ribs and one of the ribs punctured the lungs.
Wow.
So upon recovery, she was being begged to return.
Begged to forgive.
A reoccurrence of such kind of abuse can totally end that life. So as much as the person will be encouraged to forgive because she has to heal and move on with her life, because it's a pathological occurrence, that one was the most severe of the abuses. That wasn't the first time. I would not advise that person to go back.
So I want us to wrap up as quickly as possible with this. Why is it important for someone to forgive, even in a situation like this? We're talking about a broken rib here. Why is it important to forgive?
So actually, forgiveness does more good for the wronged person than the wrongdoer. Many times we hold on to pains and hurt because we don't know the damage it does to us.
Okay.
So what happens is that forgiveness helps your health. Research has shown that when you are hurt, the anger that comes with being hurt or being offended brings about a destabilization of our system.
Okay.
Hormones are released that can bring destabilization and unbalanced immune responses.
Okay.
And if it is sustained over a period of time, it can predispose the person to depression, to heart issues, to diabetes, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
And you don't think another person's misbehavior is what you're risking your health for.
Dr.
So
Sho,
you want to let go. Then secondly,
I wish we could continue on it right now, Dr. Sho, because what we're talking about is something so important for people to understand. But I know that we can also follow up on social media.
Yes.
Please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. If you missed any aspect of this particular conversation, it's going to also be on YouTube, on TVC Entertainment's channel. Please make sure you come back again next week so
I
we can
definitely
continue.
will.
Dr. Sho here, Dr. Seun Olawode here, talking about forgiveness, different types of forgiveness. Right now, we have to pass it over to the kitchen. Winfrey is on standby.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Titi. I mean, amazing interview right there. Hi, Justiane Empire.
Hello.
So how's our pepper soup coming around?
So it's coming, the rice is steaming already.
Yeah.
I can see, so it's time for me to,
So you put water in the pot to boil,
Yes,
right?
it's-
Okay, so
it's
let's
boiling
open it and see.
already.
So what's the first thing we throw in there?
The pepper.
The
is
pepper
going
goes in first.
yes.
Okay. Is it like only pepper? Only Atarodo here?
Yeah.
This
It's pepper soup now.
Hey, yeah, but
call
wait
it
now.
pepper soup.
You put it with conscience. It's pepper soup, but
It's pepper soup.
oh my goodness.
So it has to be
It's fresh,
spicy.
like fresh pepper.
Yes.
Interesting. So after that, what do we do next?
So I'll just put a bit of the, what's it called? The vegetable oil.
The vegetable oil. Okay. All right. Then what else? How many minutes are we leaving? Are we leaving it for long?
No, I can just fix in everything.
Put in
immediately,
everything now.
yeah.
That's an amazing thing about pepper soup.
Yes.
Everything just goes into
Just
the pot
goes
now.
in, yeah.
Once. So now we have our. Let's put in everything before we put the oil, right?
No, I can put the oil now. Doesn't mean, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do, okay, let's do
let's
this
do
first.
let's do the crayfish, do the seasoning.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, crayfish is going in.
Yeah.
Our pepper soup spice now.
Just
A little bit of salt. And so you used to eyeball things. Amazing. And then our pepper soup spice, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Spice is going in. I like to have
Okay,
enough.
so we actually need to go on a break right now because it is the top of the hour. Do not go anywhere. Our pepper soup is not ready yet, and we're not done from the show until it is ready. We'll go on a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Yes.
Now, welcome to the second lap of the Hump Day show on Wake Up Nigeria. We have nothing short of a carousel, a delicious buffet of content, and of course, of culinary expertise on the show this morning.
Wow.
Well, just chill, sit back from the content to the main content. It's going to be mouth-watering delicacy all on the show this morning?
It's all about all those huge words Mike just used.
No. It was not huge enough.
Yeah, it wasn't big enough. I know you're really looking forward to what's happening in the kitchen, Mike. I can feel it. Winfrey has been on standby with the amazing Justina there.
Justina
Point and kill, right? Talk to us.
Literally point and kill, and she's adding all the pepper inside this blender. If you know what's good for your heart rates, don't come near these pots.
Wow.
So it has to be spicy.
All right. Okay, but anyways, the pepper soup is literally on the way, looking good from here, I must say.
Yeah.
And our fish is literally standing by to jump right into
Yes.
the pot. So yeah, it's going amazing here.
Sounds
That
like it's going to
fish-
be a tasty one, man.
That fish just looks like they cut it like now.
Yes.
Like literal point and kill. All right? I like that. We'll get to see how far they are going in the kitchen. Okay?
My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
Mike Mesikeno is mine. The hashtag to use is Wake Up Nigeria on TVC across social media.
Yeah.
And of course, you can watch us live.
Yeah, from absolutely anywhere across the world. We have a mobile app. You need to download that app for either Google Play or iOS. And with that, you can watch us from anywhere in the world with no stress.
On GOTV's channel 16, on terrestrial, it's the ultra high frequency 49.
Of course, once you're following us on social media, that's on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, wherever, at TVC Connect, you will not miss a thing.
Titi, did you know that Threads was not going to do so well? You know they've lost almost 85% of users. We'll talk about this.
Yeah, we should
We'll talk about
it.
this. All right, but then,
I think the goal for Mark wasn't really to surpass the competition. It was to indicate that it is possible to have competition.
it's not true.
Yes.
We'll talk about
That
that.
was the goal.
We'll talk about
And
that.
he did that.
Which goal? You know, Motara will be here this morning for a wonderful musical performance. I like the feel of the ocean. We'll be enjoying some wonderful sound from her.
There's also a documentary we would like to discuss. Silent Tumors. That's filmmakers Rachel M.M. Isaac and Bolaji Jalax. They'll be here to talk about this amazing passion project very soon.
We have Ray Ajeka, an actor, joining us for a chat later on.
Yeah, so I saw something really interesting online. You know, during COVID and after COVID, there was this whole work from home thing that started, and it extended for about a whole year, you know, for many companies, international companies, including Zoom, which became like a household name. Everyone had a Zoom account for their businesses, for personal conversations. People were like almost living on Zoom at a point. But it was interesting because what I saw was that Zoom themselves are now encouraging all their staff to come back to the office.
Encouraging is a nice way to put it.
Encouraging.
Encouraging is a nice way to put it. It's just the same thing that happened with X and a lot of other companies. It's so funny that the US, number of companies are actually saying that we want you to come back because I think they feel that we are trying to adopt it. I mean, with the subsidy removal, the number of days have been reduced for people on different in civil service and all of that. But we see that actually in the US, they are now actually pushing for people to get back into the offices because if you go by Elon Musk, he will tell you that, look, you shouldn't work. He hates remote work.
Whether you like it or not, I think from my experience, I just think that the amount of work and focus you literally put in when you're working from home can never be compared to the amount when you're actually at the office. That's actually, if you had the intention to watch. However, a lot of people also say that, I mean, there are ways companies now track their staff even working remotely. You literally have to be logged in or something where like that. Sometimes the things might have even be more stringent actually working from home than from the office. So.
What I did note was that when staff worked from home, there were less health issues, a lot less stress. They were able to save more money.
Because you're sleeping more.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Getting on public transport to go to work and all that, that adds to the stress and also does take out of the work time as well. So, you know, there are just so many things to think about. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to the bottom of that. One other thing that affects people when they're going to work is the weather. You know, if it's raining, there might be traffic, all sorts of stuff like that. You know, there's so many things to discuss, and we try our best right here on Wake Up Nigeria to be as diverse as possible, which is why when we heard about these two amazing filmmakers, we had to have them on the couch with us. Now, here to discuss their latest documentary, Silent Tumors, we have filmmakers Rachel M.M. Isaac and Bolaji Jelax. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, now from the T-shirts, I can see the title of this docudrama. Docudrama.
Yes, it's a documentary and a film, a short film in one.
So the term silent tumors, it's just, I think it speaks volumes.
Yes,
but when people hear the term tumors, they sort of tend to lean towards cancers. So I have to ask you, which tumors are you talking about in your docudrama?
Okay, so we're talking about fibroids. Fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that grow in the uterus of women within the childbearing age. So they are benign, non-cancerous. They do not eventually grow to be cancerous. It doesn't happen, but they are there and they alter the flow of a woman's anatomy. And that's why we're here today to discuss it.
Yes. All right, so I have to say, first of all, I have a family member that went through this and went through this to a very extensive rate, even up to the extent that there was bloating, you know, there was a rounded abdomen, such that the person was often assumed to be pregnant. Now, this is a situation that has happened with many women over the years, and, you know, it's often led people to just assume people are pregnant because they don't exactly understand what's going on. But why is it that this is an issue that isn't talked about as much?
It's because of the stigmatization involved. Just as you said, I mean, who would want to be associated with something that would get people to think you're pregnant? Who would even want to be associated with something that when people hear that you have fibroids, they think that you're infertile, they think that you can't have kids? I mean, there are a lot of women, when you mention, you know they have fibroids, you feel they have fibroids, they say things like, oh, I have menstrual cramps. By the way, there's nothing normal about menstrual cramps. In fact, it's one of the major symptoms of fibroids. I'm not saying that it is a symptom. I'm not saying that if you have menstrual cramps or if you experience painful menstruation, it is that you have fibroids. Of course, the only way to find out is to have a test to go check if it's what you have. But then again, when people have menstrual cramps and you ask them, oh, do you have fibroids? Or do you feel bloated? Are you often constipated? And you say to them that it could be fibroids. They'll be like, no, I don't have fibroids, because they know all of this stigma that would come with associating yourself with fibroids. There are men who leave their women because they found out they had fibroids. Because family members said, this one no go fit born, no. Do you want to stay in a childless marriage or a childless relationship? So women do not talk about these things because of the stigma.
So while making this film, I know you must have done a lot of research, had conversations with many different women. Can you tell us some of the most impactful stories that made you keep pushing forward on this?
Even before I go to that, I was going to say that you know, you had mentioned about the bloatedness. It's not always in every case is that, because I have had fibroid surgery and my tummy was as flat as it could be before that. And when they brought out the tumors, the masses in me, everybody, even my mom was like, where did this come out from? So it's not all these common symptoms that necessarily points to fibroids. It's not only when you have menstrual cramps or when you have bloated stomach. Some people don't even have symptoms at all. In my case, I didn't have any of these common symptoms.
So
no menstrual pain,
how did you
nothing. But then I bled for 4 months.
Wow.
Straight up, every day, seeing my messes every day.
Wow.
And so I was going to hospital, getting misdiagnosed every day until finally I was properly diagnosed with fibroids. And as at then, the doctor was like, the doctor who finally diagnosed me and said, this is serious, you need to get it out as soon as possible. But prior to that, I mean, it didn't grow overnight. The masses that came out didn't grow overnight. But then I didn't have any of these symptoms, which is why, especially in this climate, women's health and regular health check, it's not common. It's not a culture. It's something we have to at least once a year or twice a year. As women especially, you know, check ourselves, check if we're good, because in my case, if I've done that, I would have noticed.
Earlier.
Let's talk a bit about the filmmaking process. I know that's part of it is still ongoing. You decided to make it a docudrama.
Yeah.
Why not just a documentary? Why docudrama?
Because people don't like all talk without action.
Okay.
We have to move away from just talking to actually acting it out. So people like to see things. I think seeing is believing. That's how they say, yeah. So we talk for a bit. We get to play out the part, so you see what we're talking about. So if we're talking about this pain that was experienced in a particular person's life, we get to act it out, so you understand, so you can relate and say, oh, I felt this way, and this is what I'm feeling right now. So we're trying to make it as engaging and entertaining as possible. Because if we just sit and talk all the time, people might lose interest at some point. But if you add a bit of art, entertainment, something interesting, it would keep
And makes
them.
it less scary.
Yes, it makes it less scary.
But at this point, I have to ask the question, who are you making this docudrama for? Are you making it for young people, maybe women of childbearing age? Are you making it for men? Who were your focus when you started out?
Everyone.
Everyone, actually.
Everyone.
Everyone, not even just women.
Yeah, so I was going to say something. I remember when I was 14, this is like 10, 20 years before I found out I had fibroids. I remember one time that I was going through really serious menstrual pain, that when they were calling for deliverance, I stepped out because I felt like it was abnormal for me to feel that way. So now that I'm finding out that it is one of the major symptoms of fibroids, I'm like, so I've had this thing for that long. So imagine that a 14-year-old going through this thing can watch and see and then go to their mom to say, Mom, I have to go get checked to see if I have this. And if they see it and it's there, you can stop it, you can manage it, because not every fibroid has to be taken out. There are some that you can manage. There are some that you can live with. It depends on the location in your body. There are some that will not alter anything. You just have to maintain a very healthy lifestyle, work with the right diet, and you'll be good to go. Yes.
You know, as projects go, passion projects go, I think this is a very impactful, meaningful one. And you have the support of all of us right here at Wake Up Nigeria. We can't wait to see it. We can't wait to see the premiere of it. And we hope it has that incredible impact it's supposed to on all the young women out there who might not have had the right diagnosis till now. Silent tumors is something we are going to be looking out for.
Yes.
All right, then, at this point, let's take a quick break, but we would love to hear your thoughts. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and we can't wait to see what your comments and contributions will be. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Joining us on the couch is Ray Adeka. Huh, I like that. The name is very... And of course, he is a trained actor who has appeared in several films and television productions. He's mostly known for his role as Jeje in Wura. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
It's amazing having you here.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about your role in Wura, and talk to us about the character Jeje. What's the character about?
Okay, Jeje is a lot. Jeje is a lot of things. He's a loyal nephew to Wura, a defender of her empire. He's a lover and a lot of times a fighter.
Lovers, no fighters. Always.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, yeah, so Jeje, he's loyal. He's been through a lot in his life, so that informs a lot of things that he does and the decisions that he takes. Not very conventional most times, but again, if you understand where he's coming from and his fears and worries, you'll understand what motivates him to do what he does. So
all right.
That's Jeje in a nutshell.
Oh, amazing. So now let's talk about Jeje is there, amazing. So now you identify as an actor, as a director, at some point, as a voiceover artist. I mean, when it comes to the creative space, you've literally done a lot. Now tell us, walk us through that trajectory. Let's understand how we began, how the transition is going.
Okay, well, funny enough, I'm not one of those actors that always wanted to be actors. Like, when I was 3 years old, like, no, it didn't happen that way.
It just fell on you.
Yeah, I was in university, I think my first year or so. I stumbled onto this guy, and we had this chat. He was a writer at then. He's still a writer, the director writer now. And he just asked me, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a student. He's like, that's all you do? I'm like, yeah. And then I felt like, what kind of question is that? Like, meaning you can do it. Yeah, you understand. And he said, like, let's kick it, let's hang out and just chat. And then he told me he was a writer. I was working on something, if I was willing to try it out. And then after I did that job, I kind of like fell in love with the whole thing. Oh, nice. But before that, I wanted to be a presenter. I did that for a bit.
Mike's comfy job?
Yeah, in Abuja, I did that for a bit, but never really took off as acting did for me. So yeah, that has been it for me. And then I do a bit of writing. I've written some scripts and yeah.
And then when the directing has also come in?
Yeah, because I went back to one period there was drought. You know, actors, we do get drought.
Yeah.
And I went back to, I did like a 1 month training in directing. Yeah, so that's...
How do you deal with that drought you just mentioned? When those times come, because it's not always that the jobs will be there.
Yeah.
It's not like maybe you can't write every movie or write the script and put it, so you have to wait on somebody else to have an idea. How do you deal with those kind of times and those kind of periods?
That's the work of the actor. Most of the times, before your career takes off, you're waiting. That's the truth. You're mostly waiting. You're mostly getting rejections. For every one job, there are like 10 no's or more. So it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting. You just have to stay the course. I feel, for me, if you really want something bad enough, well.
And how do you deal with no's?
How do you deal with
the
no's?
rejections? Because a number of people would, people will not get past that hurdle. People don't like being told no.
Of course, it's terrible.
Generally, And so the fear of being told no limits a lot of people. They don't want to go for auditions, as it were, and all of that. How do you deal with, or how does someone out there deal with being told no?
Man, you cry. When you're done crying, you wipe your tears and get back on the horse.
Okay.
For another no.
For another no,
For
yeah,
another
just keep
no.
going, because the thing is, for every no, you're getting closer to a yes. I mean, and it could be 1,000 no's, it could be 1 no or 5 no's. You don't know, but you just keep going. You just keep going. So the thing is about, I always tell people when they ask me, okay, what's the one thing I should know if I want to be an actor? Like, just be in it for the long run. Don't tell yourself 2 years, just be there, because it might take a very long time. You have people in Hollywood who they blew up in their 40s and 50s, and they've been on this journey for long, So, again, it can be scary, but if this is, I told myself at some point, like, if I never become that actor, and I'm dying, and I'm old and dying now, like, but at least I tried. This is something I always wanted to do, so it's for the long run. No matter what happens, I'm here. So it's not about, I'm going to make it one day. Like, even if I don't make it, pursuing this dream is something that will give my life fulfillment, so I'm there.
Amazing. So Richie actually had Rachel just on the couch, and she's like, it's funny, interesting to see she's actually on that shot as well. Okay, so now we're talking about being that actor. Now, what is your honest opinion about the Nigerian movie space? Considering the fact that, I mean, there are actors like you who are probably great at what you do, do you understand? And then several people, probably you talk about the drought you experienced, and then you now see certain people on certain roles back to back to back to back. And sometimes you even feel like maybe they didn't deliver the role so well. You're like, have you been at that point where you're like, I can do this? Like, what's going on? What's your honest opinion?
Well, the industry is bigger now than it used to, so there are bigger opportunities. So this is a very good time to be an actor in Nigeria. There's a time you tell people you're an actor, they're like, and then what else do you do? Because like you can't survive on that. But now I can say proudly I'm an actor. Like, and then there's nothing like what else do you do, because you can't survive on it.
You can, eh?
You
Money
can't.
is,
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
money is good. They don't pay.
The money is better than it used to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, but of course, the industry can have its downsides, and because sometimes, I don't know how it's going to sound, but sometimes it runs on fame. So someone that can be, I don't start calling names, there are people that just go out and they're famous and get treated better than you. They get paid better than you just because they have a clout
So
around
it's not even about the act, it's not about the skill.
Sometimes
sometimes
not.
people need to sell their movies. I mean, look at someone like The Rock. He's not an excellent actor, but he's about he's not
He's just on his own.
Yeah, no, it's not. But he has the biggest social media clout of any actor in Hollywood, and so that ensures. For I know that in his contracts, because of his social media following, he has things stipulated that he will get the highest pay amongst everybody that will be there, and it's not because of his ability. But now I'm saying that it's not optimal, but it is what it is.
So as much as you say it's about, I don't think it's totally about his following. I think there's some features he has and possesses that people actually get attracted.
No, for The Rock, it's his following. I'm talking about The Rock.
No, but he's not like a terrible.
I'm not telling what I'm thinking.
But we'll have people like, for instance, reality TV stars who, just get out of whatever they're doing, and then they're bagging roles. Like, producers are literally chasing them for roles. And what's going on here? I've been here, come on, look at me, and that happens. So, like you said, it's sometimes, a lot of times I have to tell myself, it is what it is. They're trying to sell a movie. You can't sell the movie as much as they can. The fans that these people have gathered are willing to go all out to see their films, and maybe you don't have that yet. So
So I mean, okay, so now talking about the fans they have gathered, and so sometimes it's something that happens based on the work they put in. Because I mean, looking you up wasn't so difficult, and I like that about the fact that I could just go on Google and literally just type Ray, and it's literally all over the place.
Well, now,
I think that's amazing. So now,
4 years ago was.
Yes.
I guarantee you
So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, what efforts was it? Your personal efforts doing all of that, making sure your brand is consistent along blogs and easily findable on the internet.
No, the thing is, I call them like crawlers. They go where the attention is. For me, my biggest break has been Wura. I've been acting before Wura, but Wura just blew the can open.
What do you think was the difference in this one?
Wura has a good show. It's a very good show. Wura is the one telenovela that they are pirating it. Like, they have it on DVDs. People are, like, it's madness. There are a lot of Facebook groups for Wura. There are WhatsApp groups for Wura. People are discussing it. My following, shut up. It's madness. You know, so because the show is really, it's that good of a show. So, yeah, I did that for me.
What's in the horizon for you? Next few years and all that?
I just keep myself open.
Okay.
Because I believe, I didn't see this happening. What happened last year? I didn't know. I was on one job. I got a DM from the EP, Roger Sufime. Somehow he stumbled onto one video I did in a car. And for some reason, he just told himself, this is JJ. Like, I was really the only person who auditioned for that role. He just liked something about me. And then, of course, I did. He sent me, like, sites to audition. I did audition. Because I was in Abuja, I flew in for the screen test and everything. But he was already sure that this was the person who would deliver the role. You know, so that's what I do. So because of that, I know that it's not by my calculations per se. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't know where this will lead.
Where it will lead, yeah.
But I'm willing to see where it takes.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Amazing.
All right, wonderful. I like that. When it comes to being a director on the other angle, are you looking to explore that?
Of course. I see that. Like, I like it. I enjoy it. I'm not pursuing actively now. I did a short film sometime last year. I'm still looking to do more. But for now, I'm here. But of course, I'll dabble into every other thing that a career can offer me. So, yes.
Because I know it's not easy translating. For instance, now, I mean, in film school, they teach you that writing is one thing, acting is one thing, directing is a totally different thing. Now, how you play the role as both, as this tripartite role, and then still be good at what you do, which is acting. So now what I'm saying is, for instance, you may read a script and think, oh yeah, this is the best way to interpret it, but you have a director who is not necessarily...
of course you have.
Yeah, so how do you deal with that? Also, like using your... Because directors have pride. There's a thing called director's pride.
Everybody has. Even your makeup artist...
My director, I not is the truth, sorry.
Even your makeup artist will have an issue when you say, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's the balance.
All right.
Some directors are not so flexible. But I think every director should be open to, like, banter words. But sometimes actors can be stubborn and you feel you know too much. So you also sometimes have to catch yourself. Because there are directors that might be on set and allow you some creative freedom, and then before you know, you're directing them, and that becomes an issue. So, but sometimes you still have to understand, okay, the director knows what he's seeing, he knows what he wants, and an actor is just supposed to. I'm not saying you can't pitch in your ideas, and don't you think I should? And sometimes he can, oh, that makes sense. But most times if he says no, just do what he says and move on.
All right, okay, so we have rice piping hot for you in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
I'd like for you to try it out. And so we're heading over to the kitchen now while we see one of your pieces.
All right.
Amazing.
One with witnesses and fireproof evidence. Thanks to me, the only witness in this case is dead.
All right, it's been a really wonderful Wednesday. So far, so good in the Wake Up Nigeria neighborhood.
And of course, we're in the kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. Of course, we have Chef, a.k.a. Just the and Beauty Empire, right here.
Chef.
She actually put this together from scratch right here in the kitchen, white rice and her special pepper soup. So we'd like for you to try it out and tell us exactly what you think about it.
Ooh. You know, but that's a bit of pressure. Like, I have to say, do I have to say something nice? Can
no, you don't have to.
I mean, put on and say, salt. I'm sure it's good.
Please have a taste.
I'm scared already.
Don't be scared. Come on.
Try it out.
All right.
So just tell me what we have in there while you
Have a taste.
Let me take a bit of the fish.
Okay. Are you Yoruba? Let me start.
No, I'm Idoma. I'm from Benin State.
Ooh,
okay.
I'm Idoma.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Abule.
Obabin.
Okay.
There's a connection right about here.
I can see what's happening.
Black and black.
And they don't have a clue, but it's fine. What do you think?
It's caught in her eye.
You can.
Okay. All right.
I'm like, you have to bribe. Like, you can pass something under the table and then I'll say,
okay,
it's really good.
Move, something.
Wow.
It's really good.
All right. Thank you.
It's really good. It's really good. It's very good.
All right,
It's very good.
guys.
I love fish, so it's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just
Well
one
spiced.
more wonderful
Thank you.
Wednesday.
Enjoy
Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Justina, thank you so much. Ray, thank you to all the guests that were on the show today.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.